Welcome back to Project ZZ Top. So soon, I hear you ask. Well, there's a lot to do and a lot to think about, and I've already been thinking about a few things. I've certainly got an idea for the seat chop, and I've been talking to people on forums about the front end swap on this bike in particular, and there is no easy answer. But of course, one of the most popular ones is, guess what? Yes, an R6. Funny that, we seem to have an R6 front end over there that's not really doing very much at the moment and won't be for quite a while. Further consultation on All Balls Racing. Well, obviously they have the parts. And some conversation with this chap that built this rather lovely resto mod Z650 in Holland, I believe. Yeah, anyway, very helpful chap, and said, yeah, do it. Front end swap, that is. Didn't talk to him about the seat chop. As you'll see, he didn't do that on his. He has got a rather nice seat on it. So yes, that would go on there, something like that. And that would negate the need for farting around with dropping these handlebars and swapping them around the other way and whatever. So I think that's a distinct possibility. So I'm going to kind of leave the front end alone, but we are going to start dismantling bits and pieces for the pleasure of eBayers. Mud guards and lights. Oh, I said all this last time. But first off, I want to tackle the seat, because then I want to undo that and see if it will just slide along there and look good. Yeah, let's do that first. And all that's required to do so are some long nose pliers. Simply remove that clip there, and that one there, and that one there. Job done. Job done. This may not be so simple. There's obviously two bolts here. I don't know what they bolt into. Hopefully the frame. And there's bound to be something hanging around at the back here. Underneath somewhere, probably. Yep, definitely something at the back here. Well, it'd be silly if there wasn't. Well, there you go. That's what I'm thinking of. Something like that. Something like that. Yes, complete with Suzuki air filter rear light assembly. Yeah, maybe a little bit further back than that, but that it seems to sit happily there for videography reasons. You see where I'm getting at? Something more like that, right? So it follows that line. Yeah. Anyway, couldn't fit the light under like that because there's a bloody great wheel mudguard in the way. Yeah. Let's get rid of that. We don't need no stinking mudguards. There's no mud here. Talking of backlights, there's that gone. That'll be on eBay. I know I should be doing a time lapse, but I'm not. Anyway, it's remarkably easy for a bike this age. It's obviously been well looked after. All the bolts are coming undone. Obviously that's speaking too soon, but they're all captive nuts. They're all 10 mils. It's so easy. Well, not all, but yeah, just a handful of tools to completely disassemble. So far, so good. I think next up is the sissy bars. I think we'll just throw them away, honestly. That's going to be a little bit more complicated, but not a lot. Cool. So yeah, further to seat exploration. Thinking chop the frame here, like we did on the Honda. In fact, very similar to the Honda. Yeah, so finish it off like we did there with a bit of JB Weld and black paint. Or I am thinking Kawasaki green frame, lime green frame. Obviously you have to give it some work in Photoshop to see what it looks like, but that's what I'm thinking. So this has clearly gone from restoration to custom in less than 24 hours. But I'm happy about that. I'm happy about chopping the seat. I'm happy about swapping the front end out, although we know it's not going to be that straightforward. But we've done it before, we can do it again. and it does look cool. Especially, I think, with the kind of retro rear end. So, yeah, I think we'll do the same on this. Swap out the front, leave the rear as it is, get a nice chunky knobbly on the back there, and yeah, all sorted. I'm increasingly excited about this bike, not least of all because I just think it's a beautiful bike to start with, but I'm excited about what I can do with it and what it will become. Yeah. Anyway, what next? Tempted to take the fuel tank off, except I really haven't got anywhere to put the damn thing. We are going to need it off to paint it apart from anything else, and to get to all that stuff. We've decided that we're just basically going to swap the front end out, although potentially keep the dials actually. Yeah, might keep them. Don't know how we're going to mount them on an R6, but yeah, so maybe that's next. Didn't think that one through, did I? Yeah, problem. Front end swap out, old style speedo, clocks into there, doesn't it? Into the wheel. Yeah, that's no bloody good, is it? Alright, we won't be using those gauges, in which case we'll be selling them, hopefully for a pretty penny, because they're quite pretty. We don't need no stinking speedo, and if you think I'm kidding, I used to drive the Porsche 944 race car on the road without a speedo. If you haven't watched that series, do. I still drive in the Lancia Stratos replica, the Lister Bell, without a speedo. I almost got a ticket, admittedly, but anyway, if you're not watching any of those, please subscribe, check out the other videos, give this video a thumbs up if you think it's any good, and encourage others to watch my lunacy. Anyway, let's get on with it. Front mudguard off for eBay. Next, I think the lights. I just can't believe how easy all these nuts and bolts are coming undone. Incredible. Hats off to Arizona Bikes, eh? Haven't quite worked out how to get the front lights off yet, but what I did spot, and I spotted it on the dash, was that this, like my Z400J, has a braking sensor. So that comes up here, and you've got a little stop lamp light comes on here to show you that the stop lamp is on, which used to be a lot of fun because you just slight dab on the brake pedal and it's not actually braking, and then you open the throttle and you leave whatever it is behind you for dead. Anyway, let's continue with the teardown. So, discovering some modifications apart from like AirPods and whatever. This was not plugged in, don't know what that does, probably ought to find out. And this is kind of interesting and would explain the copious spare yellow fuses in the little tray, because that looks like it should just be straight wired, and yet it's not. Somebody bunged a fuse in there for some reason or another, so that'd be interesting. Or I might phone the old boy, find out. While we're in this area, I will not be removing and disposing of the battery cradle just yet, because I was a little hasty to do that on the Honda, and it's fine. We're going to leave the side panels there, so we're not doing the whole, empty V bullshit. So yeah, it can stay there as far as I'm concerned. We might shift it around a little, but that'll do for now. Oh, I know what we're definitely not going to need. Those. Yeah, let's get rid of the rear pegs. So, removal of the rear pegs was interesting because, as I said in the last episode, that supports this tailpipe, and honestly, I don't think it's necessary. I think it's plenty firm enough. I don't think it needs support. We'll see, but yeah, so that's good, because that means I can take off all that section, which is what I want to do, if I can. Anyway, let's get rid of that horrible chrome mudguard. Chain guard. The more I look at this, and especially the front end, the more excited I'm getting about swapping that out for the R6. Because yeah, I mean, that's the only problem with this bike is the stance. It's just like way too high at the front, and you know that cured that in an instant. So I'm really excited about this project. Did I say that already? Next off are the tank badges, because they're nice and easy, and as you can see, horrible paint job. So the question is, do we do something with those and put them back on, or do we do what we did with the Suzuki, which, if you haven't watched that episode, please do. We attempted to get rid of all this, and it was a total pain in the arse. And this is more of a pain in the arse because not only have we got that Bondo wise, but you know, we've got this little indent. So I'm thinking this time around we actually sort this out and make it work. Again, looking at the shock situation, shock factor, there's no reason we can't do the same as we did on the Honda, even if we stick with these shocks and mount them here, right? So then we can cut all that away, like we did on the Honda. Let me refresh your memory. Yeah, so actually we mounted them well low. And stance-wise, it just, yeah, it's a little bit aggressive. I have no idea how it handles, because I haven't ridden it. Yeah, we could certainly swing those forward, you know, 5-10 degrees. And just like the Honda, again, the battery cradle is also a mounting device for all kinds of stuff. That's seen better days, but yeah. As you know, there are bound to be numerous episodes on rewiring and electrics in general, although not so much on this one, I have a feeling. Like a view, Mr. Sansom. This is going to look so damn cool. As you may or may not notice, depending on how sharp-eyed you are, one side had the badge and the other didn't. So we are going to have to do some Bondo work and match them up. So it's officially debadged. So we are debadging. We don't need no stinking badges. Well, I don't think I've ever seen that before. I've only just noticed it. Usable range, yes. So it's at one extreme or another. So either we need new rear drums, like we did on the Honda, or they're brand new. I have a feeling it's the former. I think the key to this is going to be a blend of resto, mod, custom, Street Fighter type attitude. With a little bit of Cafe Racer, maybe. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. I want to keep the essence of the bike. One thing I've noticed, so this is a 750, and actually it's quite dainty in comparison to this 650. I mean, that's a big ass engine, right? Just a little sidetrack, but I have to say these things while they're in my head, otherwise I'll forget. Anyway, looking at that, you should be watching that. If you're not, you should. So get on it. Oh, no, whatever. I'm not a big Honda fan either. I like Kawasaki's. Either way, this episode's over, so I suggest you subscribe. And if you liked it at all, give it a thumbs up and watch some of the other stuff on this channel, including the Honda, obviously. And the Suzuki, may I suggest, because that's going to be a closer project to this one. Anyway, enough waffling on. Do remember to encourage others to watch my lunacy.